Evening and thanks for watching. I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Devin Bartolotta in for Charisse tonight. In about 2 weeks, we'll know whether Mayor Cantrell will face a recall election. The Registrar of Voters office is still certifying all the signatures gathered by the recall campaign. But the process seems cloaked in secrecy, from the number of signatures submitted to the deal reached by recall organizers and the Secretary of State about the number of signatures needed. Today, it was the Orleans Parish Registrar of Voters who refused to give any information on the process, saying they're just too busy for you to know what's going on with the recall. Alyssa Curtis has been trying to get answers for days now. She's here to tell us what she has learned, and that's a lot, Alyssa.
Yes, we've been trying for days, like you said, to get answers, but we still don't really have many, unfortunately. We're not getting any closer to those answers that we posed last week. Well, we want to know how the registrar's office is certifying these signatures. Amid multiple calls for transparency on the registrar, we've now asked multiple times. I even went into the registrar's office today, but still, the registrar will not allow us to inspect the records or ask about the process. Many have called for the Registrar of Voters office to be transparent while it works to certify the signatures on the recall petition filed by the No Latoya Group. Monday, WWLTV filed a public records request with the Registrar of Voters office. The registrar pointed to a state law requiring a written request with 25 signatures from qualified voters in order to hand over copies of the signatures on the petition. After a written request, they said it could take up to 40 days to hand over the records. That same law they pointed to also says the records of each registrar are public records and at all times during office hours shall be open to inspection except the early voting confirmation sheets of voters. Monday, we walked into the registrar's office, quoted the exact law to them, and asked to inspect the records. They said no.
Unfortunately, you can't. It's still a work in progress.
Is there a reason as to why we can't?
Well, right now we're inundated with early voting and other activities and certifying this, and we would not be able to do this if we wouldn't be able to do this at this time.
The registrar also declined to give us a time when it would be more convenient to have us inspect the records. The secrecy around the recall concerns Councilmember Helena Moreno.
There just needs to be as much transparency as possible so that people can really trust the process at the end of the day.
Moreno said both the registrar's actions and the Secretary of State's decision to suddenly lower the number of registered voters in New Orleans lead to a public lack of trust.
When it doesn't make sense and public officials aren't clear with what exactly they're doing, immediately people start thinking that there might be something that's not being done right, that public officials are like involved in something, nefarious potentially. And so that's kind of the atmosphere where we're in now.
Now, just a little while ago, attorneys representing WWLTV reached out to the Registrar of Voters office, and our attorneys asked them why would they be denying the request that the law is requiring them to do. And the registrar's office said, at this juncture, we cannot provide any information to you. Now, our attorney asked, at what juncture you might be able to comply with the law? And the registrar's office said, not at this time.